Hey guys, welcome back to Disrespect Disc Golf. I'm in Brooksville, Florida today at none other than Olympus. I'm going to show you every single tee shot from the pro long tee pads, the blues. Hole one right here. Let's get off to it. This video is going to be probably just tee shots, but stay tuned. There's going to be another video after this showing the whole course. So let's get into it. All right, my friends, I'm going to do some commentary from the booth today. So hole one here is a lot more uphill than it seems. It's a par 3 and it's 357. Here I threw my flippy Enoch 8-speed. And I'm really just trying to match the hill. Going with my culprit here for the approach. Tap the pole there. Easy tap in par. That's as easy as it comes right there. That's just what I want. Super treacherous green, slopes all around. This place looks way different in person so far. A lot more uphill than you would think off the tee there. And this basket is seriously on a hill. If you go down, it's just trouble. Way steeper hills and cliffs in person so far. And I know hole one's like pretty minor compared to the rest of the course, but pretty wild. All right, hole two is a par 4, 730 feet. I go through my slingshot here and I just tugged it too far left and I end up with a bogey on that hole. So now I'm one over going into hole 3 here, which is a par 4, 531. This one you just want to be left and you want to get on the path here. Here's a second shot for fun. This one actually ended up hitting a tree, so it wasn't as good. Here's a little flyover of kind of the first half of the drive, and then you want to be left in hyzer to a good spot. And again, all of these hills are way steeper in person than they are on camera. It just doesn't do justice, honestly. So that was a good approach there. And not quite circle one, but I have a bid, and this is my birdie attempt on hole 3. Let's go! Birdie at Olympus. I felt so bad because I blocked it. Twice. I moved out of the way just in time for that second one. Hole 4 here, par 4, 664. I'm throwing my getaway on this one, trying to just do like a slight flip up. And this shot was the trespass, which flips too much. But the getaway is right in position. This is one of the hardest holes on the course. Now I'm either going to go left or right. I choose the right gap with my boss, give it some hyzer. And this one's tricky. Very tricky. Here's my par attempt now. And this one was a bogey for me, but I just decided to do a couple more practice putts and was just not feeling it on the hole 4. Moving on to hole 5. This one is 408 feet, par 3. Throw my grace here, and I just threw it way too low, not respecting the height enough. Here's another attempt. This is the trespass. Gets a kick just barely up on top. And this one was my wraith, I think. And I think it kicked on top. That was the best position there. The blue basket is behind the red basket. So it's like another 70 or 80 feet past that. So here I'm throwing my boss. And this one actually just sticks right into the ground there. That's my par attempt. So it's a tap-in bogey there. Hole 6 now is one of the most iconic holes on the course. Huge hyzer. You actually want to throw kind of early So that one was good. This one was a little bit flippy over disc, and so it didn't get left quite enough. And you'll see that here on this shot. The rapture was perfect. It looked early off the tee, but you want to be very, very left. And this was the second shot. Actually, sorry, this was the first shot I threw before the rapture that I'm actually playing. Basket's up and then to the right. So I didn't hyzer quite as much as I needed to. Good distance though. Trying to just salvage par on this hole after back-to-back bogeys. This is a little culprit approach, and it leaves me about 12, 13 feet right there. A little tap-in par save on the 6th. Par. Now off to hole 7. This is like a little tunnel way. This is the stuff that you don't see like on Jomez. These little cool, just little clefts and little staircases that get you from hole to hole. Course has done a great job with this whole property and just the use of it and the functionality. Like, it's just amazing to see this property in person. So hole 7 is 350. It's a par 3. Straight ahead, a little bit of a low ceiling off the tee, but not a whole lot to worry about. I threw this shot a couple times, and I could just not get it right. I was just, I felt like I was committing to it, but it was just left every time. This was my attempt at a par save. I didn't get the upshot. So that was a bogey there, but player 2 got the par. This is one of my favorite holes here. Hole 8, par 3, 465. I like the shape of the left to right bender versus the big hyzer. I like bending it left to right with an understable disc. 465 is a pump. Probably half the holes here on the course go like way down and then way up. So this is where my first shot landed, which is actually a pretty good kick to give me some sort of look here. So I'm just going down to a knee and just trying to get through that cabbage. And it leaves me a nice little tap-in par there. This hole is literally just so pretty, and so I'm glad that I scored well on it. Tap in, love to see that. Now, another ravine hole. This is hole 9, it's par 3, 426. I think that was my grace again, and it just did not flip. Here's the trespass. It wants to lift, but I don't think it got the height. It's just so hard, like, even though I'm throwing to the same elevation on the other side, you have to throw it higher and harder than you think because it wants to drop a lot. So this is an example of what it looks like from the bottom and just how steep this really is. Throwing a little hyzer and getting a little par save there. This was a super tricky hole. Definitely have to respect the terrain and not always play aggressive. Sometimes you have to play smart because this place will eat you up quickly. Back 9 now, hole 10, 341, par 3. I just threw my Vandal dead straight. And as you can see, most of the red baskets are shorter. And I parked the red basket, but for the blue basket, it's a little bit longer. And I'm probably, I don't know, 50, maybe 55 feet away. So I'm going for a little straddle here and just throwing a couple putts up, just having some fun with it. This course is just so fun to be at, so I'm just taking it all in, just throwing extra drives, extra putts. This whole first round is really just like a fun practice round. This is my first time playing it, so I'm just kind of getting to know the course and not making any putts until I make the comebacker. So that was a good little par save on that hole. Hole 11 here, you got to commit to this gap here and then just let it fade. This is a dogleg left. 11 is a par 4, 491. Here's another tee shot. I landed in the perfect spot, absolute prime landing zone. Culprit, upshot. This one goes up the hill and then back down at the end. I left it kind of short. Culprit doesn't glide a whole lot. You know, now I have to make this putt. Let's go. 2 birdies at the chess.com course so far. Not bad. That was a huge birdie for me right there. It is such a good feeling getting birdies on a Pro Tour course layout. This is what all the top guys are doing, and they're birding holes like that, and so it feels good just to be on pace with them, at least for some holes. Maybe not on pace with them the whole round, but getting a couple birdies is a crazy good feeling. This brings us to hole 12, 563, way downhill, par 3, going with my Enoch, very flippy. You want a late turn just like I did there. This is the hole that Anthony Barella basically parks with his forehand Venom. So I'm kind of in this cabbage here, maybe, it's not too far from the basket, probably 70 or 80 feet. Unfortunately, the camera fell here. I didn't see it though. And I'm just doing a little upshot. And this is an easy little tap in par. Super cool green with a little wooden owl right there. You'll know that if you've seen like the Gomez coverage. That's a good par, I think, especially since I don't know this course and it's so different playing it in person and trying to throw versus just watching online, because I have to kind of figure out my own game. This is hole 13 now. I did not film this upshot, but this is where my upshot landed, so now I have this putt for birdie. And I got the birdie there. 3rd bird. That hole was 468 feet. Now, hole 14. T-sign says par 4, but UDIS says par 5, so I'm playing as a par 5. 764. And for the life of me, I could not clear this mound, like the second level of the ground there. So at the bottom here, throwing my Grace to kind of get back in position here. Then I throw my Vandal. This was super low. That's 3 shots so far. Now I got to get up and down, save par, save a U-disc par. This is my splice, just kind of flexing it, and you can kind of see the basket under there. Leads me to a pretty routine tap in par there. All right, hole 15 at Olympus. Here's the Enoch. Now I'm on to hole 15. This is the bomber. This is the hole that the pros are eagling. 934 feet, par 5. And this Enoch, I measured it on UDisc. It went 426 feet on a hyzer flip. Now I'm throwing my Grace, just trying to do something flippy on a hyzer to get some distance up there. And that was great position. Now I'm like, I don't know, 200 feet or less away from the basket. So I just go spike hyzer with my splice and essentially park it. Not quite parked for my standards, but for a pro standard, that's parked. Tap in, birdie. Birdie number 4, I think. That's 4 birdies now. So I think currently at this point I'm 1 over. So I've clawed back a lot, gotten a lot of strokes back. Hole 16, I'm trying to do a little left to right bender with my flippy Grace. Not as far as I want to get in the gap. And I throw my Vandal here and it flips a little bit too much and puts me in the junk right there, unfortunately. Now I've got a little leaner and trying to throw like an understable putter here. Basket's up and to the right. That's a tough shot. I ended up with a bogey on that hole. Now, hole 17, par 4, 588. Threw a putter up to here, which I'm glad it hit the tree there. Otherwise, it might be in this little OB pond in front of me. And then I throw my Boss on a forehands. Basket's up and to the right. It's kind of like a little tunnel shot from here. And then going with my culprit, it's past the red basket right there. You can kind of see the blue basket behind it. I almost hit the red basket, but I didn't. This is right where I think Ricky Wysocki hit that putt. Right here. Huge putt, low ceiling. OB to the left if you miss. So I had a great upshot here, parked, saved the par here. This hole's kind of tough, some touch shots. It's definitely a weird par 4. All right, nice par. On to the last hole, hole 18, one last throw down the mountain. And I would just say that in person, hole 18 is an absolute monster. Par 4, 680, and then there's, you know, out of bounds pond. These are some fun shots I'm just kind of throwing before, just to kind of get the gauge of how far I can throw and what the discs are flying like with elevation drops. This is my CAC Z. I just actually drew that die on there. This is my real shot. It kind of flipped up and then it faded like literally 4 or 5 feet out of bounds on the left side, unfortunately. And this was unfortunate. I threw my putter here, flipped way over short and lost. So I'm taking a meter out from here and I can't go all the way up to the basket from here. So I'm just kind of pitching up for my third shot. Fourth shot, I gotta get up there now. So I'm throwing my Thought Space Muse. Hard to see, it's a black disc, but that was a good spot there. Left with like 20 feet probably. All right, folks, that's gonna do it. Didn't show every single shot, but showed most of them. About to make the video playing this whole course again and do a little lunch break and then come back and then shoot take 2 with every single shot, minus 2 or 3 discs that I lost. So that kind of stings a little bit, but this was awesome. Chess.com basket. Unfortunately, took a double bogey on this last hole. This hole is super hard. I mean, even finding the landing zone off a tee, it's so far downhill and so far uphill. Like, you just will not believe this place. Like, it is just so much different in person. So much different. But that's gonna wrap it up. After that double bogey, let's see. I didn't shoot too bad out here. Looks like 4 over. So honestly, that's pretty dang good. It's getting hot, so round 2 is gonna be super interesting. So stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe, guys, and see you in the next one.